Hello, everybody. My name's Alex Vidal. I am president of Related ISG International Realty and host of the show you're watching today, the 104th episode of The Closer Club. Hello, everybody. My name's Alex Vidal. I am president of Related ISG International Realty and host of the show you're watching today, the 104th episode of The Closer Club. And man, this is the first time ever we have this awesome panel. First time we have a panel, period, but we have an awesome panel for the first one. And we have our YPN leaders, YPN Young Professionals Network of the Miami Association of Realtors on. And luckily we have Peter and Kevin and Bethany and Megan join us. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We got 4 people on here. So we got a lot of questions. We're going to kind of run through and I'm going to kind of use the order that you guys are on my screen so that I know who I'm talking to and I don't miss anybody. So Peter, let's start with you. 30 seconds or less. Who are you? How long have you been in the business? What area are you in? And something we'd be surprised to know about you.
All right, 30 seconds or less. Peter Ortega, born and raised in Los Angeles, moved to New York right after college, lived there for a few years. I'm actually coming on my 11th year anniversary of being here in Miami, Florida. So I'm very excited. I'm a Floridian at this point. What else? I'm with Keller Williams. I've been with Keller Williams Realty the entire time that I've been in real estate, and I lead the Lucido Global Expansion team out of Miami Beach. One thing you don't know about me, a couple of my partners here know this, but for your audience, my husband and I are expecting our first child. So we're having a little girl October. So,
girl, nice, dude.
Awesome. Okay, fit that in 30 seconds or less.
Awesome. Congratulations, man. Welcome to fatherhood to both of you guys. Peter, that's absolutely awesome, dude. Awesome. Kevin, you got to unmute yourself, buddy. Talk to me. Who are you? How long you been in the business or involved with the board? And something we'd be surprised to know about you.
Sure. Yes. My name is Kevin Porcelli. I'm the executive for Miami YPN. I'm the person behind the curtain. I'm the one that promotes all of our wonderful leaders and YPN Pro members. I'm the glue that holds this beautiful YPN mosaic together, different colors, different shapes, different purposes. I'm the one that finds their purpose or helps them find their purpose, and then we execute very well. One thing you don't know about me is I used to be a TV meteorologist, and I've been in the association business now for 6.5 years, believe it or not, 4 in Miami. That's 4 years of my life.
I could totally see that. What news market were you in?
Oh, no, we're big. I was a big severe weather fanatic as a child, so I was in Tornado Alley, Texas.
Wow. What part of Texas?
Amarillo, up in the Panhandle, Waco, and Wichita Falls.
Wow, very cool. All right, my girl, Bethany.
Hey.
First of all, who are you? How long you been in the business? I hear you were the spectacular brokerage, and it's something we'd be surprised to know about you.
Okay, Bethany Martinez. I am with Related ISG, so I get to work alongside Alex Vidal, and it's been amazing. So thank you. I am the 2021 president for Miami YPN, so this year's my president-elect. I've been practicing for about 7 years, and I recently started an organization called Females for Profit, which was truly inspired through my journey in real estate, but it's also my outlet, which I can connect with women from all industries, being able to use my skill sets and getting together with them to create educational events, programs, and highlight women in business. And, my brokerage has been a huge supporter of that my whole career, so thank you so much.
And what's something we don't know about you, Bethany?
Let's see. I don't know. I feel like
you're pretty out there. You're
pretty out there. I have a parrot. Everybody kind of knows that. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll let you guys know. But
we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
All right, Megan. By the way, Megan, you have your own show, which I love seeing you on video. We're going to talk about video a little bit later. Tell us about you. How long you've been in the business? Who you're with? And then we'll go from there.
Hey, we're collaborating together.
I know.
Happy Monday, guys. This is day 50 of quarantine. I couldn't believe that. So I'm Megan Probst. I'm the Broward Chapter Chair 2020, and I'm a broker associate with Compass South Florida, one of the founding agents there. I'm actually located in East Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
And I've been in the business for 10 years. 2020 hit 10 years. I can't believe we're going through what we're going through, but yeah, I'm excited to be a part of this show. I've been watching you, Alex. It's inspiring for my show, which is currently with Megan. I'm going to be starting that up again, so stay tuned.
All right.
And something you don't know about me, most people don't realize, they always wonder where I'm from. I was born in Jamaica, in Montego Bay, and grew up in South Florida.
There you go. The one I never want to hear, we're starting it again. Once you get started, don't stop. Nothing stops the show.
I know.
Right?
You always tell me that, yes.
I did always tell you that. Now, the interesting thing I love about Fort Lauderdale is my wife and I went for a run on the beach yesterday and along the boardwalk. And one of the things I loved was they took one of the lanes on Ocean Drive and closed it off, like pretty much from like Las Olas, I think, or just south of Las Olas all the way up through to Sunrise. And it reminded me of a street. They do that in Rio, on the beaches in Rio. They close some of the traffic off to open it up to more people. I actually hope Fort Lauderdale continues that because it was really cool.
I agree. Yeah, I live off Sunrise, so cool. That's great.
Well, I live in Davies, so I'm a Fort Lauderdale guy. I love Fort Lauderdale. All right, so Megan, let's stay on you, and we're going to work our way back the other way now. So I'm curious, again, there's a lot of us on here, and we try to keep the format in that 15, 20-minute range. So I'm curious as to something that you were not doing coming into coronavirus that you've implemented as a result of coronavirus that now you're going to keep going forward. What's something that you've done like that?
So I believe that I connect really well with my past clients in Sphere, but I was really not doing a good job of really digging deep with new prospects.
Okay.
So with this virtual world we're in, I have been really on top of the virtual consultations and digging deep with new leads. So I'm really going to start utilizing that more moving forward. A lot of people are scared to have that one-on-one 30-minute or an hour consultation with new clients that come through the door. And now I've really put together a nice template format, and it's just so much better than how we were doing it prior to coronavirus. So.
Well, I think that's great. If somebody doesn't want to take the time to come in, you can at least build a bond over the screen. And if you have a set format and template that you're following, very, very cool. Bethany, how about you? What's something you were not doing before that you are doing now and are going to keep going forward?
Well, I'll tell you, business and personal. Business, to follow with Megan, I created templates for, leads that maybe I didn't really get to connect with or that didn't show my property. And there's like a really cool template with a video introduction for me so that they can actually get to know me and a little bit more about the property, whether they've actually stepped foot into it or not. Okay. And I had it automated, which is something I'm so not good with my systems, but I've learned to just like set them in place. I've had the time throughout quarantine to actually set systems in place. So a lot of things that I used to do manually are now automated, which has been a game changer. Okay. And then I also picked up road biking. So I'm like an official road biker. I've got the shoes. I click in.
You're clipping in.
I clip in. I clip in on day two. I really just like went I'm an extremist. So it's if I had to like dress the part, I got the pants, I've got the hat, I got, I have the whole gear. Sure. And I'm clipping in, and now I just got to get good enough to roll and keep up with the pros. Cause right now they're like a little ahead of me and I'm lagging behind, but it has been, I want to just say something for my mental health and something that I didn't think that I needed. I was getting really unmotivated with working out and all these like at-home workouts, but I wasn't feeling them, and then the second that I got on the bike and I went for like my first 40-mile ride, like everything changed. I come back ready to kill the day. And I think it's exactly what I needed to kind of just jumpstart my, health and fitness side of things. Sure. But I'm going to continue doing that for right after quarantine. So that's not.
I'll give you some advice on the bike, right? So if it's raining, you want to stay off painted lines or the steel grates on bridges, because that's an easy way to find yourself on your side. And if you are clipping in and are rolling up to a light, unclip way before the light so that you don't find yourself at the light, stop struggling, and then you find yourself on your side.
Already falling at the light, trying to slip out. So I got the war wound just to show you that.
I have, which arm is it? I mean, this is like, this was like 10 years ago. This whole thing is still from wiping out on pavers, actually, in the rain. So, Kevin, talk to me, man. What's something you were not doing before that you're doing now and are going to keep doing?
It's crazy, but it's probably one of the most trending things for online right now. It's just Zoom conference calls. We did everything in person. Obviously, we are an in-person organization, but given the time and situation that we're in, we're no longer able to do that for the moment. So hopefully we'll go back to more of a person-to-person, belly-to-belly format, but I think there is a place for Zoom calls after this, and we'll continue to have certain programming that will allow that.
Awesome. I love it. And by the way, I'm muting myself every time a plane flies by because I'm in Davie and I guess I'm on the flight pattern. I haven't heard this many planes fly in the entire time that we've been in quarantine. So I'm like getting really excited with the plane noise.
Wow.
All right, Peter, tell me what's going on with you, man. Something you weren't doing before that you're doing now.
So I'm definitely outnumbered with all of you because you've got your show. Bethany and Megan are experts with video, and then Kevin was in broadcasting. So one of the things that I've actually started to embrace is video. And believe it or not, I've talked to my team about using video for the last 4 years. I haven't personally applied it to my business. And what I've noticed is a lot of surprising text messages and emails from my sphere saying that I need to do it more. But I hate seeing myself on screen. I hate hearing my voice, but it works. So I've implemented that and I'm going to keep running with it.
Awesome. Get over it, man. Listen, it's the power of video is unparalleled to anything else I've ever done. And if you ever need any tips or tricks, I'll help you out. It's easy peasy. All right, so let's do the flip side of that. What was something, and we'll kind of run through this one a little bit because I want to focus on each of you individually. There goes another plane. I'm telling you, it hasn't been this busy in a while. The flip side of that question is, what was something that you were doing that you've completely eliminated out of your business? So let's start with you, Kevin. I'll mute you. Kevin, something you were doing before, but you said, hey, I realized I really don't need to be doing this in my business anymore. What would that be?
I mean, it's pretty much business as usual for the exception of Zoom conference calls. One thing that I'm unable to do that's been driving me nuts is I haven't been able to go to a gym and lift weights.
Got it.
And I'm freaking out because I'm losing some of my gains. I'm really sad about it.
Push-ups, pull-ups, you could burpees, you could do all that. Come on. But is there anything you were doing, like you could say like, hey, I used to do this, but now as a result of coronavirus, I really realized I don't need to be doing this anymore. You're taking it out of the toolbox?
Honestly, no. It's pretty much business as usual for me. My schedule's pretty much the same. My day is pretty much the same. It's just I am in contact with a lot less people.
Got it. So this has provided you a larger toolbox, not necessarily production. Cool. I love it, man. All right. How about you, Bethany? Anything with you?
So I feel like you're going to be like, I told you so, but I rented an office space, which for the time being served a purpose because around that time I was doing my large annual Females for Profit event and I needed like a hub for things, but my purpose was getting the office for the team that I had started. And while we spent a lot of time there in the beginning, once everybody got a handle and a grip on things, no one really spent much time in the office. But luckily, like I only did a 6-month lease and the last day of the lease was like right before we like went into quarantine. So I was able to just cancel and take it for what it was worth. And it was a great learning experience. Sure. But I know like now seeing how capable we are to live virtually and to train and to connect and to do all these things, like I really don't need another office space going in. I know Alex was like, why are you getting office space? And I'm like, I don't know, I just want it because I just want a group to hang out and be together. But this virtual world that we're living in, I could never like go back. It doesn't even make sense. This is our office. Wherever we are, we can show up, we can get together, we can stay connected. And I've connected through my team and other agents. So it's like one thing that I won't go back to doing. And I'll utilize is the space that we have. But yes. That was honestly probably the timing couldn't have been more perfect. It was like a 6-month trial, boom, Corona. I was out of the office. I put all my office decor like here in my apartment. So I will say that that's one thing that I won't go back to doing because now that we're able to just save so much time virtually before commuting like that, you don't realize how much time commuting takes from your business day.
Absolutely. Trust me, I put 40,000 miles on my truck in like less than a year and a half. So I definitely know. Peter, how about you, man? What's something you were doing before that you're not doing anymore?
You know, that's actually the biggest thing that I'm no longer doing. Our team has been virtual pretty much since its inception. Our hub is based out of Baltimore, Maryland,
Oh,
and
wow.
we do a lot of Zoom calls. We're on FaceTime. You know, the virtual world has been in place for us for a long time. However, I would always find myself rushing after the gym to shower and go to the office. I spend a lot of money. My office is in Miami Beach, so you could imagine how expensive it is to park there.
Sure.
So I'm going to be saving a lot of money not going into the office and actually fitting more meetings into my schedule, because now I can actually see all of you, just
Sure.
like I see my agents. And if it's not through Zoom, instead of actually picking up the phone and calling people, I'm just going in and hitting the video call button, and I see all of our team members. So it's really nice. I'm saving a lot of money, and I'm no longer going into the office.
That's awesome, man. And by the way, I think the video call function, I think is going to get adopted more too, where you're going to see people saying, instead of a phone call, I'll do a FaceTime versus a phone call, and just still do this versus the traditional, you know, just talking, right?
Yeah. And Alex, if I could say one thing that I've realized is it also gives you an opportunity to see where your agents or your partners are at, right? Because sometimes people are just waking up, they still have their pajamas, you know, they're not following their schedule. So it just gives me a little bit more
Yes.
clarity and perspective as to who is actually doing the activities and who's not.
System of checking in. I like it. I like it. All right, Megan. So we're going to go back to back of questions with you. So what's something that you were doing that you're no longer doing, and then we'll jump right into the next question.
I think this has been such a great opportunity to analyze your personal, professional life. I like to throw a lot on my plate. My to-do lists were always so long. So
Okay.
what I've eliminated is really trimming down my list and tackling just a few. And that is completely, in 30 days, it's changed my entire way of doing business and just having time for myself. I think a lot of people who want to keep doing more and more, they just say yes to a lot of things, and we get steered off of the path throughout everything that's going on and all of the different things we see on social media, the news.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really just been narrowing down to 3 days, and I definitely will be keeping that moving forward.
I love that. Let me tell you something, Megan. I think you said something so point on. You guys as team leaders and all that, for the most part, will recognize this. Agents love to have busy days. And I'm not saying this is your case, so don't take it that way. But agents love to have busy days, to be able to have reasons for which they didn't get like the bigger tasks done, like the prospecting and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And we brought in transaction coordinators, as Bethany knows, to our company. And so we were afraid that a lot of agents were going to be not using our transaction coordinators, not because they didn't trust them, though that was the face excuse that we were getting. Really, it was they didn't want to give up the deal, because all of a sudden they were going to find themselves with more time, which meant more time to do what? God willing, prospect, which is why we did it. And most agents don't like the prospect because they get rejected, right? So the fact that you were able to pick up on that, do that, your ROI on your time now is going to be significantly higher. And kudos to be able to figuring that out on your own, because a lot of people can't do that, Megan, and that's awesome. So let's talk about you. It's interesting, right? You were on a team in Fort Lauderdale, and you recently branched out on your own. So I'm gonna give you kudos on that. And we have team leaders, so I'm gonna reserve my thoughts on what teams are and all that.
Right.
So my question to you is, what was the driving force for you to go out on your own? And looking back, if there was a newer agent out there deciding between going on a team or not, would you recommend it? And what are some of the things they should look for in joining a team?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I get asked that a lot. I'm a little different because I'm a boomerang agent. I joined Compass on my own. We weren't established yet in East Fort Lauderdale, so I found myself coming back into general real estate from a new construction background. A little bit lost, trying to figure out how to go back to my clientele, how to reposition, rebrand myself. Sure. So having a team, I'm a big proponent. Whether you're a new agent or you're an agent that maybe you were in a different sector of the industry and you just need support, I think having a team is great. Nowadays, teams have evolved. I think you're going to see a very interesting shift with a lot of agents moving to teams, and also generational teams. So more veteran agents with younger agents, really kind of covering all the bases. So yes, I definitely am a big proponent of teams. The driving force for me to go on my own actually were a lot of my friends and colleagues. Bethany was one too. She's like, I knew it inside. And she was like, come on, when are you going to do this? Like, what are you waiting for? I think I'm a pretty perfectionist A-type personality. So I wanted everything to be in line.
Sure.
But once I just made the leap, it was in December. It has been the best decision that I've had. My previous team lead, we're very close still. We're now at a different level, which is great with one another. We've evolved. And I'm expanding now. So it's just a great opportunity during quarantine to be working on my brand, working on new systems, processes, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
So congratulations on that, by the way. I agree with you. You deserve to have your own team. If you're going to have a team, you deserve to have one. And I know you well, to have one, not be on one. So I agree with Bethany. She was right on that. What are some questions what are some things they should look out for on joining a team?
So I think an important question to ask yourself when you're having that initial call is, what are the core values of the team lead?
Okay.
Because when the going gets super tough and you're questioning yourself why you're doing this, knowing that you're aligned with values is super important, because a team is there to support one another. When something's going on with the other team, they pick up the slack. So I think the core values, the future direction of the team, what plan do they have? I don't think we ask those questions enough. I mean, just like when you put together a business plan, many agents, don't put together a business plan, but
Very
that
true.
plan is what's guiding you. So I think you really need to ask that question with the team lead. And I mean, just have fun. Make sure that you connect. I think we spend more time with our team members than our personal families. So
That's right.
you have to have that respect factor. So yeah, core values for sure. And there's shifts happening, right? We're seeing teams that are heavily involved with Zillow. They're getting leads from Zillow. That model has changed. They're more reliant on their team leads for giving them leads versus nurturing leads you already have. So I think really finding out what model and can you evolve within a team, or is it just going to be one sort of model for you? So
yeah, absolutely. And I think the connection's a big deal. You spend a lot of time with these people. If you can't connect with your team lead, it doesn't matter how much money you're making, you're going to be miserable. Peter, I
want to say one other thing.
Sure.
With whether you're a new agent, I think it's very important that you realize the whole scope of why you're joining a team. It's not just the split. It really is not. I get this all the time.
Amen.
It's bigger than that. So find out.
The split's people get fixated on it.
I mean, in a sense, because if you are doubling, tripling your business and you have support and your brand is solid and you're able to leverage what you're getting from your team, the split is just lower on that totem pole.
I agree 100%. And you look at it, 100% companies, their per agent production is the lowest among any other type of brokerage, number one. And number two, yeah, you can get 100% of 50 grand. So what? What if you got 90% or 80% of 200 grand, right? So now, Peter, you have your own team, and I know you have your team. I didn't know about Baltimore and all that. So you got Baltimore, you got Miami. You just recently expanded to Austin, Texas, which I hear is a great city. From an ROI perspective, if you were to name 2 or 3 activities that your team is doing that are producing the highest returns on investment, what would you say those activities are?
So Alex, one of the things that we never stopped doing was prospecting. The only thing that changed was, instead of cold calling people and asking for business, we started making care calls. And through the care calls, we realized that there was people that were suffering, people that were hungry, losing their jobs. So we were able to make those connections. People have to move, right? Real estate is essential for people. Everyone needs shelter. And so people were getting divorced. Unfortunately, we lost people to COVID-19, so they needed to sell their home, and we've been able to step in. We are pretty fortunate. By the way, I just want to clarify one thing. I am the team leader for the Miami Beach expansion team. I was tapped to be the team leader. I'm in one of 23 expansion locations. So I do want to piggyback just on what Megan was talking about. Teams are probably all the rage. This is one of the things that has been coming up, and it's not really about the split. If you are in the right team where they provide you with leads, where they're providing you the opportunity to have more belly-to-belly interaction with your clients, you have the contract manager, we provide you the Boomtown leads, we're providing you with Mojo, all the marketing stuff is taken care of. So all we expect is that our agents and partners are actually spending their free time, quote unquote, lead generating.
That's right.
So for us, that's really been one of the most important things. So I would say the first, second, and third thing that I would say to our agents is pick up the phone and make those phone calls, because we're not in the real estate business, we're in the lead generating business. And if we just maintain a connection with our sphere, there's no way that we won't be successful in this business. People just want to know that we're not just making that call because we want $1. They want to know that we're truly making an effort to help them out. And if they went with another agent as opposed to me, I know that they're probably not going to get the same service. To me, it feels like a disservice to my clients when they end up hiring someone else that doesn't truly care about their, the sale of their home or the purchase of their home. So
Amen.
to me, 1, 2, 3 is all about
Prospect. There you go. All right, Bethany, you're up. I've learned a lot about social media from you. And so, Bethany, talk to us a little bit about heading into the quarantine. How are you using social media for your business? And has that plan changed in any way as a result? Are you doing anything more of in social media?
Well, I'm definitely making sure now that I show up on all levels, and I've been reaching out to a lot of agents through the DM and just through social media to connect, to build a referral business, because I feel like a lot of people are now relocating and coming down from, like, say, New York or other cities, whether it be short term or even long term. I've just realized that I want to be the go-to for people and other agents in other states. So that was something that I was working on before, but I actually put together like a little referral program now that I've been sending out to them. And it's all through social media, because I feel like everybody is constantly on their phone and checking social media. I use Instagram as my platform to connect, and it's been very fruitful because I've been able to stay connected and stay present in it. Everybody tends to feel your energy through the camera. So a lot of the time I've gotten messages from agents that are like, you're so positive and thank you for just like showing up every day. You've got me motivated. I want to get to work. I want to keep doing things. So that's been very, that makes you feel good, that at least I can be positive. And I know that this is not 100% positive time, that some people are actually really struggling and going through serious things. So I try to be, I try to be careful, but at the end of the day, I can't control. There's a lot of things I can't control, but what I can control is my attitude and how I show up every day, right?
We hang out a lot together, that's for sure.
I try to focus on the things that I can control, and I try to bring light. I've been collaborating with a lot of different brands, and I've noticed that collaboration is like where it's at for my business and even in my personal life. So I've been really strategic on the business collaborations that I've been working with moving forward. And I think that those things will end up becoming business opportunities when we're out of quarantine. And I've been picking up a lot of finding ways to always generate income, right? There's so many entrepreneurs that are going to be built in this time. I've listened to one podcast that changed my mind, that after the first recession, so many people were rich. So many people became millionaires because they decided to launch their business, launch their idea, launch their podcast, whatever it is, after the last recession. So though there will be struggles and there'll be a lot of people who, will need to recover from this, there will be a lot of business owners birthed throughout this time. Because if you can pivot and transform your business in a time like this, then you'll be able to survive, any market. And so we've been reading books, and that is just like, how can I always make money, whether it be through real estate, referrals, or even brand collaborations that are aligned with my business. Obviously, I'm not going to just jump into anything, but there's so many opportunities to make income. And I've realized that in having an online presence is where it's at. So for agents who are non-existent right now because they weren't working on their online presence, well, that's what we need to be doing. We need to be reachable no matter what the time is, the season and the market. And the way to do that in the masses is having an online presence. So I feel like social media has definitely, been a driver for my business and has been an outlet for me to have income in different areas, not just real estate.
Well, I'll tell you, Bethany, there's two things, in my opinion, that really stood out on what you said. One, I don't know, when I think of social media, you kind of just changed my mind on it. we think of social media as, what am I putting out there? Like, what am I posting that people are going to see, whether it be a post in my story, my feed? Is it a video? Is it a picture? Is it just for fun? Is it content driven? Like, there's actually something you can learn from this. But you also have a different dimension, which, by the way, this is how I get a lot of guests on my show. I just never really thought of it that way. The DMs, the DMing the agents, like using that aspect of social media, the behind the scenes part of social media. That was one thing that stood out. The other thing is, you almost, and I know this is going to sound crazy, and everybody on here is so positive, we almost feel bad for being so positive in light of everything that's going on. And it's nuts, right? My wife told me the other day, she's like, you got to tone it down. I said, why do I have to tone it down? She's like, because it almost seems like you're being inauthentic. And I'm like, why? Because I choose to work on my mindset every day with my gratitude exercises, my manifestations 3 times a day. Like I work as hard on my mindset as I do on my physical fitness, right? Whether CrossFit or triathlons. And as a result, I'm positive most of the time. Why should I feel bad about that? It's crazy that we have to almost feel bad about being so positive. Screw that. I want to be positive. If you want to be negative, that's on you, Bethany. So yeah. I feel that, and I know what you're, and everybody's shaking their head on here, and you guys probably feel
one way of being. You know, I can't show up and deliver something different just because the times have changed. Like, I'm gonna give you what I feel and how I feel, and I think that's the true thing about being authentic on social media.
Yep.
So, like, I don't always have great days, but you know, just like anybody else, like on those bad days, I'm not even thinking about it, social media. So I'm not on there. I'm figuring my shit out. I'm doing what I have to do to make sure that I wake up tomorrow having an amazing day. So I try to be very real, but at the same time, like, I can't be what I'm not. So when I show up and I deliver a positive message, or I'm just happy, it's like me not doing that is me being inauthentic. So,
well, and I think everybody on here would agree that the positive mindset doesn't mean you're going to be positive 100% of the time.
Sure.
It just means when you find yourself in that valley, you're not in it for a week like most people are. You're in it for a day or a or a few hours, and you bounce right back. And hopefully like our economy is going to do.
Right. We think about the solutions.
That's
or
right.
how I can fix it. Right.
All right. So we're gonna go to the lightning round, but I got to ask my man Kevin. Kevin, you are involved with everybody at the YPN, right? And from a top-down view, is kind of like getting everybody together all the time. You're around these people all the time. If you were to say 2 or 3 common denominators that not only the people on this screen, but the leaders across the board at the board level, what would you say are the 2-3 common denominators?
Sure. First and foremost, you have to be hospitable. This is a service industry. You have to be receptive to the needs of your customers.
Got it.
First and foremost. 2, you got to be tenacious. You got to wake up every day and you got to go out and get it. Because otherwise, if you don't, somebody else is going to get the business that you were destined to get.
That's right.
So you must be tenacious. And then thirdly, and this is not in a disrespectful way, because people use this word mostly out of disrespect, but you got to be audacious. You got to think outside the box. You got to be creative. You got to be bold. You got to separate yourself from the rest of the pack. And if you do those 3 things, especially listen to the needs and then go out there and just fight for them every day of your life, you're going to be successful in this industry, and you are going to get past people who are sleeping at the wheel.
I love it. So be polite. Make sure people like you. Be tenacious. Get after it, and take risk and be bold.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome. All right. Lightning round. I got everybody. But by the way, when you guys were talking, I focused on you guys individually, so you'll have your highlight reel on the Closer Club. Let's talk about lightning round. 1-word answers, and then we're going to wrap it up and bring it home. So best ROI for leads. We're just going to go down. Peter, 1-word answer. Best ROI for leads.
Sphere of influence, SOI.
Got it. Kevin.
Google Ads.
Google Ads. Bethany.
Referral sources, my past clients.
There you go. Megan.
BombBomb, which is a video conferencing tool.
Ooh, I like it. All right, so let's go video conferencing tool. Fair enough. That leads us right to our next question. Megan, we'll start with you. Is video on social media a must in today's environment?
100%. If you're not doing it, gotta do it.
What are you doing? Got it. Bethany?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we wouldn't even be surviving or here right now if we weren't doing video.
Kevin, video?
I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to say it's not necessary, but you're probably putting yourself at a disadvantage if you're not putting video out there. The only time you're at a disadvantage when you're putting video out there is you're making a fool of yourself in front of the camera.
Got it. There you go. All right, Peter, how about you? Video must?
I think video is definitely a must. Just do it. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your shell. Just do it.
That's right. All right. Social media platform, Peter. What's yours?
Instagram. Instagram.
Kevin, just leave yours.
IG for sure.
Bethany.
IG for sure.
There you go. Megan.
IG. Yeah.
There you go. Wow. All right. Clean sweep there. If there's only one way you could prospect, mailers, door knocking, phone calls, sitting at a mall with a sign saying, I'm looking for business, help me out. If there's only one way you could prospect, what way would it be? Bethany.
Phone calls.
Kevin.
I'll go door knocking, especially if you know the information of the people that you're knocking the door on.
Hell yeah. I love door knocking. Peter.
I'm a social person. Dinner parties are my best source of prospecting. So
interesting. I wonder if that'll change. Well, we'll see how much that changes as we go through this, right? You guys, we should get a mask that says something like "I love referrals" or some shit like that. Megan, yours favorite one way to prospect. What would it be?
I love to travel, so airport.
Airport. Interesting.
Yeah.
Another one that's going to be facing some challenges going forward.
I know.
All right, last one, and then we're going to let you guys talk for a couple minutes to bring it home. We've been going for a while, actually. Biggest misconception about millennials. Megan, go.
Ooh, biggest misconception. I think a lack of seriousness because we are utilizing social media. I think people are really seeing the impact social media has. So I think that's shifting, but I would definitely say just because we're active on social media, doesn't mean that we're any less qualified.
Got it. Bethany.
I think there was like a stigma that, they know it all. Or
lightning round, guys. One word answer.
I think they just want educated people who are willing to work versus.
So what's the misconception about the millennials?
That, they'll find their own properties and they can do everything on their own, right? Through internet, via Zillow and all that. I think they just really want qualified people that are willing to meet them at their level.
One word. It's a lightning round, guys. Come on. This is I get to be the referee. Peter,
that is.
Biggest misconception about millennials.
Lazy.
Boom. Thank you. Kevin, how about you? And stay unmuted because we're going right to you next. So biggest misconception about millennials.
They're not always tech savvy. A lot of us are.
Ooh, you know what? That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. All right, so let's bring it home. We've gone way over the limit, but I wanted you guys to kind of just touch upon. So if we can keep it within that 30-second time limit. Kevin, talk to me about 20 Under 40 Pro Talks.
Yes, it is coming up May 7th. It's going to be an amazing program. It's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We are getting some of the best producers under the age of 40 to share some of their secrets on why they're so successful. So they have different topics that they're going to go on. They're 30-minute TED Talk style sessions. It should be a great time. It's a great way to promote our 20 under 40s, which we'll be doing every year. If you didn't apply this year, please apply next year. And it's going to be a great way to educate yourself right before we're able to bust out of this quarantine.
Got it. Do you have 20 between 40 and 45 for like the older folks over here? All right, Peter. You, my man, YPN and Feeding Hungry. 30 seconds. Shoot.
Sure. So we partnered with Representative Ana Maria Rodriguez, as well as Commissioner David Richardson in Miami Beach, to feed over 2,100 families so far. We are going to continue. We're committed to feed as many families as we can until it's no longer needed. So if you want to volunteer, please reach out to us at Miami YPN. We'll give you the details.
All right, great. Sounds good. And then YPN, Peter, one sentence. Why should they join YPN?
Why not? This is a place to collaborate with each other, regardless of what brokerage you're with. If you want to get far, you want to work with other people. So this is why we're all in it together, because we push each other out of our comfort zone to excel and be better real estate professionals.
Got it. Can you join YPN if you're not under a certain age group, or is it specifically for realtors under 40 years old or whatever?
Yeah, the misconception here is that you have to be 40 and under. In order to be on the board, you do have to be 40 and under. However, anyone who's young at heart can be a part of this organization. So,
so there's light at the end. There's light at the end of the tunnel for me. I'll be 42. I'll be 42 in a couple of weeks. All right, Megan. Anything cool you want to touch upon? I know you're working on some cool projects.
Yeah, so I'm going to focus on the NSU Art Museum. I'm on the committee for the One East Society. So arts and cultural, we're working on some really cool virtual events coming up. So definitely stay tuned. Are you going to have a handle so that everyone can follow us?
Yeah, you could just add it in the comments too when we build
Okay,
it. All right.
perfect.
Cool.
Yeah,
Bethany.
and then just check in.
You got it. Awesome. Bethany, bring it home. What do you want to wrap up with today?
I just want to say for everybody, yeah, to join the Miami YPN. We have so many things coming up. We are doing a book club. We're doing virtual events. And plus, when this is all done and we're able to meet out in person, we're going to have one of our largest events that we hold every year called Ari Bar Camp. And that's going to be like our coming out party. So we're super excited for that. So just to get those updates on everything that's to come, please join YPN and stay connected.
There you go. You know what? I think I love the common denominator. You know, we think of real estate just as real estate sales, buying a home, selling a home, renting a property, whatever. You guys are so much more involved above and beyond just what is actual real estate, which has obviously helped in all of your real estate careers. Guys, thank you so much. This one, I don't know, I think this went like 40 minutes. This blew my expectations the way you guys crushed it. Thank you for participating. And guys,
Thank you for having us.
Alex, thanks for having us.
Have a great day.
You're welcome. All right, guys, this wraps up the 104th episode